You're such an asshole.
All right, now that I got all the clutter out of the way, I can focus on this one here. Nick writes, "Hi, Aaron. I'd like a video response to the following question. What effect does motherlessness have on children? On Fresh and Fit, you cited some statistics covering the effects of fatherlessness children, ranging from educational attainment to lifetime income to confidence, etc. I wonder if you came across any similar literature for motherlessness. I suspect there may be differences between mothers which are totally absent due to circumstances like death or adoption versus mothers which are present but neglectful due to personality, addiction, career, etc. If that is the case, please call out features to the latter as it pertains to my situation. I suspect will grow in number going forward." So, in doing the research, I can't find anything as it pertains to like there's you either in a motherless home or not. And even that data is very sparse, which we're going to get to later. But being present with a psychopath or a mother who doesn't love you or a mother who loves her career and herself ultimately more than you, that is how do you define that? And again, which is why that data is perhaps absent. Now, is the data out there? Am I on it? Did I have access to JSTOR? No, I did not. But after trying to go in and finding some data, it's not only is there not that much a shocking little data on motherlessness effects on children, there to have it further spliced down where, oh, what if you have a mom that dropped you off at daycare when you were a month old? What's it like having a mom that like, had her career and everything? That data is not there. And I don't know why the data on motherlessness and it is negative. Both kids need their kids by the both kids need both their parents, by the way. I don't know why there's such a lack of research, like hard numbers, statistics. Those statistics you saw about fatherlessness, they're kind of this part of this cabal of 20, 25 core statistics that have been cited on a handful of websites that show you just how damaging it is to kids not to have their dads. You would think feminism and feminists would be all about getting the female equivalent, which I'm not going to disagree with because it's absolutely ludicrous to think that you can raise your children with one parent, not even if they're married, like one parent without the other investing in them, even if they're at the house. So then, if they're not even going to research that because of the victimhood angle, oh my God, mothers are just so important. And here's a tonnage of data. They sure as hell are not going to go and say, well, what happens if mom is out of the house? What is it, 180, 168 hours a week? Is that it? Mine is sleeping. Mom's at the house 30 minutes a day spending time with kids. Like, what's the effect on that? They're never going to publish that. Academia will never come out with that. And if they did, someone send it to me. But I could tell you that, yeah, if your mom is neglectful or worse, like there's one thing if you had the stoic dad who didn't say anything, all right, that's fine. But if you had an abusive dad, well, yeah, they're a little more animated, I guess. I guess they're more invested in your childhood, but in a bad way. And so just like any other bad person, mother or not, there's negative consequences and effects. So here's the other thing. Do you need research? Do you need research? Like if your mom was somehow personality, addiction, career, I got a lot of younger people where mom just doesn't work. Mom's a fat, lazy piece of shit. Mom does you're not going to let your mother starve. To which I say, you damn right I am. I'm not your slave. We've seen that very commonly here, but the advice I give in those instances and circumstances, like that's not your mom. Stop it with this blood is thicker than water. I don't care if it's your mom. That's a despicable, vile human being trying to steal from you. Knock it off. And maybe I'm just like could shut it off or something. But most people, but it's my mom. Your mom is a welfare collecting piece of trash whore. That's why you have half siblings and step siblings. All right. She's a worthless, despicable person. Knock it off with the blood thing. Not to say that your particular relationship with your mom was that level, but I mean, was your mom lying? Was she a hypocrite? Did she collect government money? Was everything your fault? Was there crying and drama and bullshit? Was there no stability? Well, was there, question number one, was there no dad? Well, not your fault. That's your mom's fault. It's also your dad's fault. So I don't think we're ever going to see the effects of a, we're not going to see data and statistics of boss girls or girl bosses who, what the effect is where the mother puts herself or her career or whatever false god she worships ahead of her children. We're not going to see that. I don't think, because it would go against everything. It's not even the economy is based off of. It's everything. It's the new religion of the West, in the United States in particular. It's just, man, girls with people with vaginas sure are great. They're just wonderful and amazing. And don't you dare anchor them down with anything, let alone their choices, let alone another innocent human being. That's what we got. So since it goes against that narrative, I don't think you're ever going to see that data. But I don't know. People treat you poorly, you leave. That's about it. Now, let's go on to what research I could find here. And there isn't much. Again, if you guys know something, let me know. And what I did find was some really, they weren't necessarily poorly written, but by God, I hate to see it live up to the stereotype, but it was written by a bunch of women, where it was amorphous language and could and maybe and correlates possibly. Whereas the statistics coming from the guy, 83% of men in jail come from fatherless homes, or some similarly high, numbers, data, statistics, declarative statements. I didn't see one damn number. Listening, didn't see hear one damn number. It's always, well, you may experience depression. Well, no crap. Thanks, Jane Goodall. That's great. But I found this one website from learningmind.com that kind of summarizes. They got 7, and this was the consistent one. So it leads me to believe that some research must have been done, because they keep coming up with the same roughly 5, 6, 7 things. And it stands to reason, but I'd like to see a little bit of numbers, but the numbers aren't really out there. So unhealthy relationships. All right. One of the genders is gone. You don't know how to interact with that gender. Okay, there you go. Commitment issues. Right. How they measure that, I don't know. They didn't tell me. They just say you may have commitment issues. Stands to reason. Data? No, it's too much. You just drank some chamomile tea and speculated. Educational effects. This one I did hear a statistic. Kids are less likely to go to college, poorer grades. But obviously, your mom's not around. Of course. Heightened stress levels. There, I think they did measure cortisol. I'm going through this article to see if there's any. Yeah, studies in China show that motherless children indeed have a lower percentage of university attendance. Higher stress level. The trauma due to death. Okay, obviously. Mothers, and also, mothers provide emotional support during times of trouble. Without them, that support is gone. Absence of the mother, you have an angry dad, Cappy, yelling at you, shut up and stop crying. Learn the code. Again, why don't I? Could you, look, you want a case for mothers? What if I was a single dad? Could you imagine how bad those kids would come out without some to take the edge off? Holy cow. Increase in depression, obviously, social anxiety, and then complacency. Single parent is a hole inside, and that goes somewhere here. So those are the 7 ones. I'll go over it again. Unhealthy relationship, commitment issues, educational effects, heightened stress levels, increase in depression, social anxiety, and complacency. All right. Now, there was another one that I found. This is from American Academy of Pediatrics, dedicated to the health of all children. So it has it here. Motherless children have the hardest time. Epigenetic programming and early life environment. Now, this touches on something that's we shouldn't have to state it. Babies need their mothers. Children need. There's a bond, a chemical, psychological, emotional, loving bond between the infants and the mothers. I have a friend who had a baby. I don't see a picture of this baby. It's still a baby. It hasn't grown up yet. Still baby stage. It's smiling. It's happy. It's wide-eyed. Don't tell anyone she quit her corporate job and raises the kid. There's pictures of them in the park. There's pictures of them playing ball. It's kind of however infant baby can play ball. There's pictures of him smile. There's pictures of him give food all over his face. There's the picture of the mom. There's the picture of the dad. Babies, especially in, and she was telling me like I eat the healthy food, I breastfeed, I spend time with the baby, all these motherly things. Now I all you ladies go get your sitting down chair, okay? She says she's happier being a mom staying at home raising the baby than she was at work. I mean, come on, let's go kill her right now, huh? Blasphemer. Should we kill her by crucifying her or burning her at the stake? What do you feminists prefer? What do you prefer for her saying such evil things? Stoning? What biblical treatment would you like to kill her with? How dare she? But again, you don't need a scientific study. Babies, especially younger kids, need their moms. But mommy needs to get back to the office. That's more important, right, mommies? So here we go into epigenetics and all that. The Blind Willie Johnson blues song "Motherless Children" highlights the material bonds that all know are critical to emotional cognitive development. I don't believe the vast majority of young American women know that. I believe it is a thing to have and immediately don't even drop it off. Just like maybe push it out of the car, have it roll into the daycare center. Maybe do you drop kick it, punt it into the daycare center? What do you girls do with your thing, your object? Authors of previous work looking at infant stress response have found that those bonds begun in utero and can be influenced by both maternal and paternal influences and across multiple generations. The observations of Barker et al. On the Dutch famine birth cohort of World War II were perhaps the first published observations of this phenomenon. Somehow we carry the benefits and burdens of our childhoods into our adult lives with impacts made evident by our behavior, also virtually all organ systems. In a new study published in Pediatrics, can we just get the synopsis? Memory at the cellular level must be a key marker of programming. The idea development's factor that reflects circadian rhythms. Oh, no wonder you scientists don't get laid. Oh, cortisol. Okay, bad. Cortisol, bad. Triggers memory. Ability to define biomarkers early in life. Competing interests. Okay, I wish there was a... Okay, stress that supports the stress drawback. Stress is bad. Stress in the mother is bad. Kids need the mother around. Mom doesn't need to be stressed. Dad doesn't need to be stressed. I'm sorry. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, here. Well, I'll just read through the synopsis, and it wasn't about anything that I really thought it was. Okay, good there. All right. So to answer your question, there's not a lot of data. It's common sense. Sadness, depression, not as good performance. You just don't have your mom. As it pertains to you, or other people where the mom is present, but she's mean or evil or bad, that's not going to have a good effect. It's a negative effect. And then here, if we want to reverse engineer it, this is from Warren Farrell, Dr. Warren Farrell. This is at the Oklahoman. And this is the often cited data that single fathers do a better job at raising their children than single mothers on average. That's just statistics. Don't come, yeah, you hate women. No, not really. So it says, from his book, Father and Child Reunion, Dr. Warren Farrell sheds light on the research guaranteed to challenge conventional wisdom. Before I begin, I have to do the obligatory apology thing, so I'm going to skip that. If divorce is unavoidable, are children better off with the mother or the father? It would be bad politics to suggest that the answer is dear old dad, but Farrell's data supports the idea that many children fare better with their fathers after divorce. Historically, there is only one reason such a claim might be made. A father's higher income, no doubt true. Single fathers with custody tend to make more money than single mothers. In fact, they tend to make more money than the average father. But Farrell discovered that even when the father and mother had equal income, the children who were with their fathers, full-time boys and girls, did better than those with their moms full-time. And this income was much less likely to come from the government. He was seen, therefore, as a positive role model who juggled work and children without being independent, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the reason I go through this is they go through how the children have less problems, more self-respect, less behavioral, and all that other stuff, is because I think that the mother's critical role in raising the child is obviously early on, starting from birth, obviously, and up to about 7 or 8. And if you want to use the Spartan model, that's when I think 7 or 8, the fathers would take over and raise the kids. And so perhaps the reason that you do not see clear data and statistics on these performances and metrics like income per capita, jail time, tardiness, blah, 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 is because fathers would have or would not have taken over the role. And thus, those statistics are more determined about whether or not there is a father present in the house. And so, whether or not there was a mother involved or not, dads prepare the kids for the real world, so they look to seem like they're better at raising it than single moms. And if you compare it to, control group, okay, fine, that might be the case. But single moms aren't supposed to play the role of dad, well, ever at all, really, especially but 8 to 18 when you got to prepare the kid for the real world. And so, in a certain sense, single moms kind of get a bad rap because, like, single moms can't raise kids. Well, no shit. This was the dad's job. But they're supposed to take the kid from the end, like, that first 10 years, roughly 10 years. Let's or 9. Let's do 9. First 9 years is mom, next 9 years is dad. All right. The mom's got to nurse the kid to health and not get killed and get food and coddle it and attend to it when it cries. That's the critical component of mom. So since it's not as close or designed to have all these baseball card statistics in terms of performance and did you know that when we looked at 30-year-old men, that the ones that came up, yeah, he's a 30-year-old guy. And so the the drawbacks, the prices, the pains, the price that children without mothers are going to pay are probably going to be more psychological and background, and not necessarily latent, but in the background, which is why when we go to it, it's, okay, they got social anxiety, they have trouble committing, blah, blah, blah. But, maybe they were raised by dad and dad still taught them how to do engineering, fix a car, and be responsible. So, I mean, that's the effect of motherlessness, is you probably just have sadder, more depressed, probably not as good of children as they could have been. But and that would carry with them throughout their entire lives. But that doesn't mean the kid is not capable of being trained for more practical, industrious things in the real world, like not going to jail or becoming an accountant or home ownership. But that's where dad takes over. So in either I wish I could have said, oh, look at these great statistics. Holy cow. The importance of mothers. Mom's got to be in home. They're just not out there. But it is foolish we even have to argue this, that kids need a dad and a mom. It's absolutely foolish. And as I have gone to town on American parents, not only do they need a mom and a dad, they also need you to raise them and invest in them. But I know kids, especially in America, are more like fashion pieces, as you. So, do you girls like Tokyo drift with your Range Rover and then just like hit the release button on the door and then the kid rolls out of the car? And have you ever gotten the perfect where he just lands right at the door stoop to the daycare? That way you don't waste any time getting back to the office. And then do you guys blow coal? Do you like put that additive in there? Come, mommy got to get to work. That would be, let's put a note this. There's a lot more opportunities to study the effects of motherlessness with mothers who might be present, but just don't mother. They don't invest in their kids at all. That would be the much more interesting, because you are right. That is very common. And as I've said before, 85% of American parents they're just shit. They're just shit. They don't raise their kids worth a damn. But it would be cool to see, like my buddy who, oh my God, raised her child versus those who outsourced it. And I married or not, I don't care if it's a nuclear family. Did you invest in the kids? You don't understand. Becky next door got a new Audi and I need the newer Audi, so I have to work more. A lot of lonely people in the nursing homes in the future, I predict. Hey, did I have good internet this time? Did Cox Communication crap out on me? Let me know if it did crap out. No, if it didn't. All right. Let's go to super chat. Swallow Blue, $2. You missed my last super chat. I did. Were you on a different show? I can go back and get it. I mean, I don't get them all. I try my best. All right. No, it was fine. It's okay. Cool. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate that. That's all right. See you guys later, Toodles.